Once upon a time, in a cozy little cottage at the edge of a green, grassy meadow, lived a clever and hard-working little red hen. She had bright feathers the color of ripe strawberries, a cheerful cluck, and a tiny garden outside her home, where she loved to grow vegetables and flowers. Her neighbors were three animals: a lazy dog named Duke, a sleepy cat named Cleo, and a noisy duck named Dilly. They all lived nearby in their own little homes, but they spent most of their days lounging, playing, or napping. The little red hen, however, was always busy. She swept her floors every morning, watered her plants in the afternoon, and even knitted in the evenings, while the others dozed under the shade or floated lazily on the pond. She kept herself busy, humming a tune as she worked. One bright morning, the little red hen was pecking around in her garden when, peck, peck, she found something in the dirt. "Oh my!" she clucked excitedly. "What's this?" It was a handful of golden wheat seeds, smooth and shiny. "These seeds will grow into wheat, and from wheat, I can make delicious warm bread." Her beady eyes sparkled with delight. "But first, I must plant them." She looked around and had an idea. "Perhaps my friends will help me." She walked to Duke the dog, who was lounging under a tree. "Duke, will you help me plant the wheat seeds?" Duke opened one eye, lazily. "Planting sounds like a lot of work." He yawned. "I'm much too tired. Ask someone else." Next, she waddled over to Cleo the cat, who was stretched out on a sunny windowsill. "Cleo, will you help me plant the wheat seeds?" Cleo licked her paw. "Oh dear, planting might get dirt on my fur. I can't possibly help." Then she flapped over to the pond where Dilly the duck was splashing noisily. "Dilly, will you help me plant the wheat seeds?" Dilly giggled. "Planting? In the mud? No thanks. I have splashing to do." The little red hen sighed, but smiled anyway. "Very well, then I will do it myself." And she did. Sprouts and sunshine days turned into weeks. The sun rose and set. The little red hen watered the seeds every day, pulled out weeds, and kept the soil moist. One morning, tiny green shoots peeked out from the earth. "Look," she chirped. "The weed is growing." She called out to her friends again. "Duke, Cleo, Dilly, the wheat is growing. Will you help me take care of it?" Duke stretched and wagged his tail lazily. "I'd love to, but I have a bone to chew." Cleo yawned. "So sorry, hen. I'm very busy. Napping." Dilly ducked underwater, then popped back up. "I'm in the middle of a very important swim." The little red hen tilted her head and clucked softly. "Then I will care for it myself." And she did. Time to harvest. The wheat grew tall and golden, swaying gently in the breeze. When it was ready to harvest, the little red hen stood proudly beside her golden field. "It's time to cut the wheat and grind it into flour," she said. Once again, she went to her friends. "Duke, Cleo, Dilly, will you help me harvest the wheat?" Duke rolled over. "Not now. I'm scratching my back." Cleo stretched. "I just sharpened my claws. Can't risk breaking them." Dilly shook her feathers. "Do you know how messy harvesting is? No quacking way." The little red hen nodded patiently. "Then I will harvest it myself." And she did. With her little wings, she cut the wheat, tied it into bundles, and carried it to the mill in her tiny cart. The flour sack. At the mill, the farmer helped grind the wheat into soft white flour. The little red hen thanked him and trotted back home, her cart now filled with flour sacks. She looked at the flour and smiled. "Now, it's time to bake some bread." She sniffed the air dreamily, already imagining the warm, yeasty scent. As usual, she decided to ask her friends one last time. "Duke, Cleo, Dilly, Will you help me bake the bread? Duke was now fast asleep and snored in response. Cleo licked her tail. Baking is for hens, not for cats like me. Dilly giggled. Bake? But I don't even know how to. The little red hen fluffed her feathers. Then I will bake it myself. And she did. A scent in the air. Inside her cozy cottage, she mixed the flour with water, added a pinch of salt, and kneaded the dough carefully. She shaped it into loaves, let them rise, then popped them into the oven. Soon, the most wonderful smell filled the meadow. It was warm, yeasty, and delicious. Sniff, sniff. Duke's nose twitched. Sniff, sniff. Cleo sat up suddenly. Sniff, sniff. Dilly paddled toward the smell, her beak watering. They all followed their noses straight to the little red hen's cottage. There, on her windowsill, sat 3 golden, crusty loaves of freshly baked bread. Steam curled into the air, and butter melted over the warm slices. The guests arrive. Hello, little red hen, barked Duke cheerfully. That bread smells amazing. Yes, purred Cleo. You're such a talented baker. Is there enough for every? Asked Dilly hopefully. The little red hen looked at them calmly. Did you help me plant the seeds? She asked. No? They mumbled. Did you help me water the wheat? No? Did you help harvest the wheat or grind it into flour? No? Did you help me bake the bread? No? The little red hen took a deep breath. Then I'm afraid you cannot eat the bread. A moment of silence. Duke drooped his ears. Cleo looked away, embarrassed. Dilly stared at her webbed feet. But we're your friends. Duke protested. You are, the little red hen said gently. But friendship isn't only about sharing rewards. It's also about helping each other when there's work to be done. Cleo pawed the ground. You're right. Dilly quacked quietly. We were selfish. The little red hen's eyes softened. It's never too late to change. If you truly want to help, there's still dishes to wash, crumbs to sweep, and flour to store. A new beginning. This time, all 3 animals jumped into action. Duke washed the dishes, wagging his tail proudly. Cleo swept the floor carefully, even though she hated dust. Dilly folded the flour sacks and cleaned the table. The little red hen watched them with a small smile. When they finished, she looked at the last warm loaf on the counter. Well, she said, I suppose you've earned a slice now. Really? They cried. Yes, because this time you helped. And so, the 4 friends sat together on the porch, munching on slices of buttery bread as the sun dipped low in the sky. The air was filled with warmth, not just from the bread, but from the joy of working together. From that day on, things changed in the little meadow. Now, whenever there was work to be done, planting, watering, sweeping, or baking, Duke, Cleo, and Dilly were always there. They still liked to nap and play, but they also learned that helping was part of being a friend. And the little red hen, she was no longer working alone. She had a team. And every time she baked a loaf of bread, she shared it with joy, because it was made together, with love and effort. Moral of the story: those who don't help in the work cannot expect to share in the rewards. But those who do share not only the reward, but the joy of friendship and effort.